Hello and welcome to the Go There Do That podcast. My name is Ethan and I'm here today with my wife Heather, of course, and we're going to do sort of a hybrid episode today. There's two parts. One is an update on the art show, how that's going. There's some things I want to talk about, and the other half of this episode will be the types of camping that you can do. There are many. When somebody asks you, "Do you want to go camping this weekend?" What do you imagine in your mind? I'm sure that's different for a lot of people. So we're going to talk about how it's different for us. But first of all, Heather, you are alive over there. How are you?
Fine.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started with what that fine really means, because we have never been in a better place right now with the art show, or Go There Do That's first ever solo art show, exhibiting 26 pieces of all this work, all this hard work that we both put into this whole LLC that we have. It's now being recognized at the conservatory at North Austin, Saturday, August 5th, 2 to 4 p.m. It's going to be very exciting. But to get 26 pieces and curate them and all of that is a lot of work. Most of it is what Heather did. So what all did we have to do as far as like preparing for this so far?
Well, I've made a lot of spreadsheets.
Of course.
Like spreadsheets for like what we need to order, also like how I'm going to curate things, on like what wall, where.
I guess let me provide a little more context with what a solo show is exactly. So you imagine an art gallery, right? There's just one artist for this one, and that is us. And it's in a retirement community, so it's in a little activity spot, but their walls are they've been decorated with other, I guess, residents' artwork, but instead of having the residents go to the art, they want to bring the outside art in. But it is a fairly large space, so we also had to curate it, which was something that Heather is very good at doing, but just to paint more of a visual picture of
Well, we'll
what it
see
is.
how good I am when we actually like put it on the walls, because I do have a reputation for not understanding measurements very well. Like in my head,
I mean, there's just one
it
little...
seems like this would be a good idea, and then I go and put it up, and sometimes I change my mind. But
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, it'll just be a reorganization of like. Basically, I'm prepared to
redo everything.
change things if needed. Yeah, but
Yeah.
we at least know what we're ordering.
Curating can
Yeah.
take all day. Like deciding on what goes where.
It's taken me more than one all day.
No, I'm saying like.
Oh,
I've
like when it's time to.
They bring an outside curator in, and not the people who have like been looking at the artwork, but it's like a kind of an unbiased opinion when you're sharing other people's artwork.
Yeah.
With us,
Well,
it's not that big of a deal. But
for ours, I just kind of like I asked you kind of what you envisioned for kind of categories of like our pieces, because some of our pieces do have like a category like Northern Lights, wildlife, So I asked you what kind of categories you thought might be a good idea, and then I kind of picked the different pieces and sizes based on where I think it can go on the walls. So those categories will be Blue Ridge Parkway, so like fall colors, and then wildlife, Northern Lights, Yosemite. If you want to, if you want to talk about the trifecta.
Oh yeah, yeah. We visited Yosemite twice, but we've gotten our first visit there was one day, was from Christmas Day, to the 26th of 2021. But we had went there, and then were told to leave because there was going to be so much snow the next day. So we stayed one night there, and it started snowing that evening. But the amount of snow it got totally changed the landscape of Yosemite. There's the landscape after the tunnel view, that photo that you see of Yosemite. I have that in the show on one side, and on the other side is the same like
Orientation.
perspective, yeah, from that same ish spot, but it's all snowy. And the crazy thing about those two photos is it was taken like
less than 24 hours
yeah,
apart. Yeah.
yeah, and so it looks like we visited there multiple times.
Yeah.
But I also have a vertical, which I haven't seen yet in person, of the Fire Falls, which is a phenomena that happens every February, and we did get it, and it's super cool looking. But right in the middle of the snow and the fire, and we'll say earth, we're mixing all the elements together.
Snow isn't an element.
Snow's water.
Okay.
We have wind. Wind is the.
Okay.
I was trying to think of it that way though. There's 3 photos, but it's like fire and then snow and then classic. Those aren't really elements, but
right. But it is like
is cool.
A cool contrast. Yeah, of like it all pretty and green. It's still winter, but it does look more, like summery green.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of greenery in the like classic Yosemite photo, and then the contrast of like the, however, I think it was like at least a foot of snow that fell overnight while we were there, and then they were expecting 8 more feet.
8 feet.
But it was just like covered. Yeah, it looked totally different than when we had seen it the day before. And then the
Fire Falls. We
which
returned.
Is Horsetail. It is a different part of the park, like a different, area, different falls than the one that's in the first picture.
That's cool. But we have a landscape that looks different, and then we have like this cool thing that happens in Yosemite right in the middle. Horsetail Falls, called the Fire Falls in February, but
you've been asking me to like do that in like our house for like a while, like kind of having those 3 together. So you've had that vision in your head since before we even went and got the Fire Falls.
Yeah, I said if I even get this photo, because it sometimes doesn't happen. But I said it's saying when we get this photo, we'll have it right between these 2. But it'd be more of a, what's that called when you Photoshop a composition where you layer things together. So it'd be like all 3 photos being combined.
Oh yeah.
That might, like you see one half snowy, one half not, and then in the middle you have like this Star Wars poster of like a fate, the Fire Falls in the middle. I don't know how that would look.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't done it yet. It's better. Probably will look good. We'll see how it looks in the art show first.
Yeah.
And then,
I think it'll look great.
So, just about every one of these, like how we just talked about Yosemite, like every different like section has like an in-depth, super long story.
Yeah.
Like you say, Northern Lights section, and it's like, that one. And Yosemite has the cool, and Europe like has its own.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is Europe will have a little section. So, and then some of our regular landscapes. But even with the regular landscapes, we like curated it to where it'll be like mountains, desert, glacier.
Oh yeah.
And then I can't think of the other one right now, but canyon. Yeah. So it's kind of cool to see like the contrast of those.
And since this room is like the gallery / like activity center, we do have across and down the hall. After you pass the musicians, they'll be at this position at the stairs. Between these 2 rooms, there's like a snack, wine, beverage room, and there will be our signatures. 3 of them on like little easels.
Oh yeah.
In the library, so they're gonna be like a temporary showing of the signatures. All 3. It'd be gonna be the Bison, King of the
Cap Rock.
Yeah. Between the Clouds and Painted by the Sun. Yeah.
Which the art show also inspired us to like update the website a little bit. So like I would say almost half of the pieces that are going to be at the art show are like new and have been added to the website recently.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if you go to our website and look at signatures, that's like a very small percentage of like the photos and places. So we're trying to add to the selection, and we are adding a signature for the first time.
Well, I'm not even
Also,
just talking about
but
signatures, like the
right, yeah, you're
statement
talking about
editions.
statements too,
Yeah.
yeah. But I'm saying that's not a representative of like all the work. It's just really hard to like add things to the website. It's like tedious
Yes,
adding things.
that's what keeps me from
Yeah,
doing it is like basically like it's a good thing that we're doing this because it made me
yeah,
add like Europe and Northern Lights and stuff to the website because it is it's a lot of work. I probably have spent like 6 or so hours just like adding those to the website and organizing them and
yeah.
getting that all situated.
So we're telling you all this stuff about the solo show just to say I whenever I say solo show, I didn't know when I said I wanted a solo show, I didn't know what all that involved. And so saying all of this is like you got to I didn't know what I was getting us into, but now I do. And so when you say solo show, it's like sometimes it's about like, well, are you willing to do all that work? You know, like
Yeah.
because we could just print out canvases and put them in the show and not have them on our website, but that would be, you know,
Well, I'm just
that
trying to
would,
make it easy
yeah.
for like if someone does buy it,
Mm-hmm.
then make it easy for that to be
Mm-hmm.
possible.
With that in mind, like we're doing these things for when the day comes that somebody wants to, like when we get this type of exact thing that I'm talking about, a solo show, when somebody is like looking at the work in this way, having all those web links will be really
Well, that's a part of
nice.
the
Yeah,
reason why you even got the show is because we had
that is the whole
like a
reason why.
website, like a place where people can like look, you know, and
Yeah,
everything's all in one place and like we have pricing and
yeah.
stuff, which that is one thing at the solo show. If you like buy the piece at the solo show, there's like a discount code
Mm-hmm.
to put in at check-in.
Check out.
Yes, checkout. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of just exclusive for that. But
You get a discount for buying a piece at the show, so that's an incentive to go.
but also for all like the kind of like event day is August 5th, but it runs for like 2 months. You know, so people can go
Anytime.
in and out and stuff. But it has been exciting and overwhelming to start getting the canvases in. Like
Oh
on
my gosh.
Friday, I was working from home and O'Malley was barking his head off because like UPS and stuff doesn't really like ring the doorbell anymore. But I always know when they're here because O'Malley lets me know. But yeah, so I go out and they weren't on the front porch. They were like set in the driveway, and it's just like 10
Oh, in the driveway.
boxes of they were in the driveway, like it propped up against the garage.
That's
But
funny.
yeah, and so I was like, oh, so I had to like lug them in one by one. But it has been fun like unwrapping them with you and like seeing which ones we got today or whatever,
Yeah, that is very fun.
and kind of taking inventory, making sure that we do get all the pieces.
Yeah. So, moral of the story is if you ever like have a cool idea, having a website helps with it because legitimize it. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I think I mean that's like the reason why we have this though is because you work so hard on the website, and it made us look
Yeah.
like we could do a solo
Well, I worked
show.
really hard on it for like 3 months, and then I have left it alone for a really long time.
That's all you need to
And
do
then, yeah, but now it's time.
Yeah.
It's given me some motivation to do some updates and stuff. Ooh,
though. Yeah, Cece's moving in.
the cat.
Our kitty cat, Cece. We have to introduce every time she makes a noise. Yeah. So
But we'll be sending out invitations this week. But honestly, if you're listening, like our 8 listeners, you're invited too.
yeah, just go. Conservatory of North Austin. And we will be playing a video
August 5th from
August
2
5th,
to 4
2 to
p.m.
4 p.m. I'm bad with invites. We are going to be, they have a theater there too. And we're going to be showing a video that will only be played there because I'm going to use music that will only be played there. Like, I'm not going to post it on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a fun reason to be there too.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a video about all the pieces. So that's the update on the art show. Very excited. Very, very excited. I actually still can't believe that it's happening until it happens. It's an incredible opportunity. We're very grateful for being a part of this. Shout out to Amy and Joe, the conservatory at North Austin. So we're moving on to our second half. Let's transition. Are you ready? Okay. All done with the art show?
Yeah.
So far? Well, I'm going to do another one right before it. Another update because
Okay.
that's all I think about. Check our social media. And okay, part 2 of this episode, second half. Different types of camping. So
yeah, I don't really know what you mean by that. So
well, you're about to,
because
that's
started.
That's what we're talking about now. So you get into when somebody asks you, "Do you want to go camping?" What comes to your mind? Heather, go.
Why do you do that to me?
Okay, so when I hear what do you want to go camping? Like, there's different things. Like, one friend explained to me, he's like, "Oh yeah, when we go camping, we always go to the river." It's like, "Oh, which river?" And it's like San Marcos or something. And they just float the river on tubes. And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't think of that as being camping, but that's just what traditionally they have called camping."
What, are they camping on the tubes? What do you mean? Like they're camping in a tent, but they also go
I think it's being outdoors.
tubing?
I think it's just being outdoors, one with nature. They considered that to be camping.
Okay.
They said, "You want to go camping with us?"
Yeah.
And
well, because we like take paddle boards camping.
Yeah.
But we're still like camping.
And then also go down to the river. Also kind of can intermingle with definition of do you want to go camping sometimes, right? Like just say go down to the river, because if it is like...
If you asked me to go down to the river, I would assume you're murdering me.
Well, yeah.
But
a van down by the river, as everyone would tell me when you get a van. But I was thinking about that, like people have different meanings of the word camping.
I guess it would depend on who asked me. Like if it's somebody that knows me, which is probably somebody who would be asking me to go camping.
Right.
I would assume that they like want to go camping.
That's true.
Like with me in the van.
With? Like that's not like a question you meet. You
right.
meet somebody and then you're like, "Do you want to go camping?"
I would be alarmed if somebody asked me that.
So
like
it is
some
pretty,
random stranger.
There's a certain amount of trust, right, involved with going out into the woods, or anywhere with somebody.
Yeah.
And so, like, what level of friendship is that? Do you want to go camping? What does that mean? Oh, it means that y'all are friends.
Yeah.
Too. Like.
Yeah, I'm not taking someone I don't like camping.
Oh.
I mean, and I don't mean like. I mean, I'm not going to take somebody I'm not pretty close with camping. That doesn't mean that just if I don't invite you camping, it means I don't like you. But like, there has to be a certain level for sure.
Yeah, a friend of mine had asked to go camping with us once, him and his girlfriend.
Oh.
And I said, "Have y'all been camping together?" First. Yeah. And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Please go do that before you go camping. Like, go camping your first time with,
Why? We didn't camp our first time by
by.
Oh, so you were saying go first because we don't want to take care of you.
Well, when we first went camping together, though, we were like, oh, we don't know how to go camping. Our definition of camping at that time was tent camping, and cooking using the grill that they give you to cook food on,
Yeah.
and uh, we didn't know that you couldn't cook food right because we didn't know enough about camping and we didn't have any equipment or anything to.
Yeah, I guess
Equipment's
that
a big
that
thing.
would make a difference too, like depending on who's asking
Mm-hmm.
me to go. Like if somebody's like, "Do you want to go camping with me?" I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to assume that they have stuff that they need to go camping. But if they say like, "Do you want to go? Can I go camping with you?"
Mm-hmm.
Then that's different.
Yeah, because then can I go
But most
camping with
people
you?
don't ask that.
Yeah, but people ask you that.
Well, yeah, but they're allowed to.
I know it's fun. I would want to go
There's
camping.
only two people. There's only two people that ask me that.
I ask you if I can go camping with
And
you.
we're going camping this weekend, actually.
Three people ask.
It's going to be 3 people. Oh, you.
Well, you got the girls' weekend.
You don't ask me to go camping. I schedule camping and I tell you that we're camping.
Well, I'm saying I like camping with you, and I would ask if we didn't
Yeah.
go. I'd ask you once.
Right. The first time you did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's fair.
The chicken or the egg scenario. I'm the chicken.
Mm-hmm. But like
what came first?
Like if Jennifer asked me to go camping, like that's like who I started camping with, and they have like a van. So if she asked me to go camping, then I'm like, oh, like I know that she's kind of like the me, like in our friendship, if that probably makes no sense. But she's like very organized and like has everything that you need. So like I can go camping with her and like I'm very relaxed.
Well, you look up to her because you want to emulate her behavior.
Right.
Because you have.
Like she taught me like how to camp. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so going camping with her is like different than like going camping with like my friends Dana and Alex, where like I'm kind of in charge.
Your friends Dana and Alex. Dana and
Alex. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
I was trying to give them like a couple's name, celebrity couple's name.
Yeah. And you just enjoy it too. You don't really. I mean, it does matter who you're with, right? But you're okay with like just being like, come along with me, and I'll teach you my ways, sort of how.
Well, but like they both have like camped before and like know how to camp. So it's not like I'm having to.
What do they know about camping? What's their definition of camping?
I don't know. I guess I'd have to ask them.
Well, you know somebody who's been backpacking, right? And that's something that we wanted to try too. And is backpacking in its own that's not camping. You say backpacking if you want to go.
Yeah, that's camping to me.
Oh, okay.
But well, yeah. Normally you say I'm going back.
So then there's a subcategory.
Oh my God.
There's camping, which is like how the word science is, and we have like biology.
Yeah.
And physics, and so there's like camping, and then there's like.
Right, that could mean a tent backpacking,
camping,
yeah, RV, yeah. That's true.
So it is like a very broad term. But I love camping. Is all over the place, right?
I don't know.
Well, it's on T-shirts,
I guess if somebody likes camping, they buy that T-shirt.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm saying the term "I love camping" is very popular, but it is a very broad term.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what this second half is about, the different types of camping.
Okay.
Yeah. So for you, camping is with people you like being around.
I don't know. Well,
you ever tried camping with people you hate, I guess? Like,
no,
you
that's...
just have a group of people.
A little bit. Well, I guess what I mean by that is like, I think that soon I'm going to go on a camping trip by myself. So I guess that definition would change a little bit because it's not necessarily camping with people. Well, I like myself most days. So I guess I could still say it'd be camping with people you like, but
yeah.
That type of camping is going to be different than like camping with you or my friends.
You know, I've thought about that too. If you're lonely when you're alone, then you're in bad company. That's how the saying goes. But like,
Yeah.
have you ever tried being alone? Like doing something completely on your own?
I love being alone.
Yeah. It is nice. That'd be super nice going camping too by yourself.
Yeah,
That
I
is.
feel like I need a little sabbatical.
I've thought about that a lot, but I go on like walks and stuff. It kind of does the same thing, except I don't have to like sleep somewhere else,
Yeah,
which that'd be a fun. You're taking O'Malley,
I get.
but
Yeah, I
potentially,
would probably take O'Malley,
yeah, that'd be
depending on
fun to
where I
do
go.
with O'Malley.
Yeah.
Plus he'll.
I think after the art show's over, like in August, I guess it'll still be really hot, but I don't really care because I just feel like I need to.
So why do you want to? Why do you want to go camping by yourself?
I just feel like I want to, I don't know, just like get away, but not worry about like what days you can get off and, you know, and be by myself a little bit and
I think it'd be cool.
yeah.
I've always
Nothing against you.
Well, I know. I wanted to try it too, but how do you like say, can I do
Right.
this thing without you?
Right.
Like nothing against
I know.
you.
I mean, like, yeah, I would honestly have my feelings hurt a little bit, you know, or I'd be like, I want to go.
But now you're doing it first, so then I could do it later.
Right. Exactly.
Camping alone will be a new one. No different type of way of camping. Type of way of camping is probably.
I would say way, yeah.
Yeah. There's many different ways.
I am not taking Smoosh, though. He can stay here. Your cat.
Oh, now he's my cat. Yeah, he did that. Smoosh, our little kitty cat. The little.
He goes camping with us, yeah.
Yeah, he did that voodoo stuff on you the other day, when he came up to you and purred.
Oh my gosh.
Paw on your chest, and then you were like.
It was so sweet.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe what was happening. But yeah, like I was standing like next to the bed and he came up to me and like crawled up me and like put his paw on my chest and was like purring. But then all of a sudden like I felt like my heart felt weird and I was like, am I having a heart attack? Like I'm sure it was just like heartburn, but it like hurt like deep sharp pain all of a sudden and I was like, I think he just like cursed me.
Immediately
I thought it
after
was sweet, but then
he touches you.
yeah, well, either or maybe he was telling me that I was about to have a heart attack, and he was being
And he saved you.
Maybe.
All that being said, you don't want to be alone with him.
Right.
Because he could just
I'm not going camping alone with Smoosh. Yeah.
just stare at you all night,
Yeah.
not sleep. Yeah, that's dangerous. Don't do that. So, yeah, there's couples camping too when you're in your own kind of like isolated. Well, Joe and Jennifer, right? When we would go with them,
We have our own quarters.
our own camper vans and everything, and you just kind of emerge
Yeah.
at the same time.
Well, that's what's like weird about the van a little bit because our van like technically sleeps four. Like there's you know a full bed. Actually, it might be a queen. Downstairs, and then you have the pop top, which has a bed up there. But I don't know that I would like ever invite someone camping with us, and then they like sleep in the pop top. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like when I go camping with Dana and Alex, you know, two of us sleep downstairs, and then somebody sleeps in the pop top, and that's not weird. But like if I was camping with you, and then there was like people or even like a couple tagging along, I don't know.
Yeah.
How I feel about sleeping in. It's just a very close quarters. It would have to be.
Two
I don't
people.
know. I don't know that I'm close enough.
Two people is cramped.
Yeah.
Like you can't use the van to hang out in.
You can.
With four people.
With four people, it'd be hard. Yeah.
Because once you sit down somewhere, it's like you better be out of the way.
Yeah.
There's only like technically kind of
Yeah.
two or three-ish spots to sit at.
Right.
If you just want to be out of traffic in the van.
Yeah. But I guess what I'm saying is like when we are camping with other people, like they have their own setup.
Yeah. Yeah, you need your own tent.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do these sleeps
Yeah.
4 tents with 6 people.
Right.
I've seen that before.
Right.
I mean, they just all line up
Even when we like camped
in
with
their sleeping
your
bags.
we camped with your parents like before we started like really tent camping.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were it was when I caught the fish. Like it just came up on my like Snapchat memories the other day.
In Junction?
I think so, yeah. But we like were sleeping in the tent because it's like, well, I don't want to sleep in the RV with 14 other people.
Mm-hmm.
But then one night it was too stinking hot.
Mm.
Like we couldn't take it. But it's just like I'd rather sleep in my own place if I'm camping with other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a friend I went camping with, stayed in the RV. Somebody knocked something over at like 2 a.m. Like it was like a fan or something, and it was so loud. But I couldn't sleep because I wasn't sure what it was. I didn't know if I was like younger, so I was like, it's like a werewolf in this. Like it just fell, so I was like freaked out, and so I like left. But my friend came out with me. But it was like, have you been able to sleep? It's like, no, everybody's snoring, everybody's knocking stuff. Like there's so many noises.
Yeah.
You're just kind of like, I'm just not used to this.
Yeah.
So you sit outside the whole night.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, that I don't like sleeping with other people's
Sleep noises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like when I was younger and like staying in like a hotel room with like your parents and you're just like, you can't sleep because somebody's snoring. I'm not going to say which one.
So you have to go with a friend that you don't really like point out things that annoy you about them.
I haven't noticed that Dana or Alex snore. So,
You go to sleep pretty quick.
yeah.
Like imagine 4 people in a tent together. Ain't no way.
Man. I
Man.
mean, some people are okay with that and it works, but not me.
So I want to let you know that I know that other people camp differently. I have preferences though.
I know.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with what I don't prefer, but I can tell you that I don't prefer.
I'm just so scared of sounding like judgmental.
I'm not judgmental to anyone. I think it's crazy to do what we do. I think it's nuts. I think it's absolutely ridiculous to do some of the things that we've done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's your favorite thing to do while you're camping? Like, if you're going camping, like, what is your ideal camping trip?
I like not knowing what's going to happen.
Oh, so yeah.
Like, it's wonderful.
That's why it works, because I just plan everything.
Wonderful, because, well, some people are totally bonkers, bananas, out of whack when they don't know what's going to happen next.
Mm-hmm.
And me doing videos, it kind of would make sense to, like, know what's going to come up next and what thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really do that.
Yeah.
And I just kind of capture things because then if it's a surprise, you're like, oh, cool, I got that really cool time lapse of the Matterhorn in Switzerland, so that was a video.
So you like when nothing's planned because then you can do whatever you want.
My favorite camping trip is I don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is planned.
Oh, okay. Makes sense, yeah.
I'm okay with nothing being planned if we have like 4 or 5 days at one spot.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it's like, oh, like you look at a map and it's just shoelaces of trails from like walking distance from where you are. Like that's perfect because you can this will be my whole trip is just, Zion is an example. Like take a bus or walk from inside the park over to wherever you want to go.
Mm-hmm. That was our first one. I didn't really plan it much.
But there are much bigger parks that aren't Zion. And how do you see it all? And you just have to accept that you can't see it all. But when we get to Yellowstone and Grand Tetons, right? Mm-hmm. Like I want to sit in a spot and wait for animals. But then also it's Yellowstone and the Grand Tetons, so I don't want to sit in one spot and wait for animals.
So imagine you're camping and it doesn't even matter where we are. But tell me what your ideal day would look like camping.
So it depends on the place. Depends on so many things. What is camping? being outside, okay, we're
Mm-hmm.
outside anywhere, like, okay, not super hot, so not like in the summer in Texas,
No, I'm asking you
but
what you would do. Like, what would the ideal day look like? I'm not asking you what the ideal location would look
well,
like.
I can't swim in a lake if there's not a lake there.
Imagine that it's like a hybrid, like it's a
So I
Yosemite
have a
Bastrop State Park.
like a
Yeah.
video game blank
Yes.
flat
Yes.
little map in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
and so I can decorate it with whatever I want.
Yes.
Oh, so it'd be just at least 500 acres of what?
Well, now you're about to start describing the place, and I asked you to describe what your ideal day would look like camping.
Okay, so I'm gonna. So it's not creating my own place. It's creating my own little adventure story thing, and the
Mm-hmm.
things I run into on the way are what will describe the environment.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't describe the environment. I just describe what I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
and play into this environmental piece will come into shape in my mind.
Yeah, that's more. I think that's more what I was envisioning. I
Okay,
guess. Yeah.
well, it's really not that complicated of a question, but
Mm-hmm.
I make it complicated. All right, so I wake up, I'm asleep, and I wake up in the van. And when you wake up in the van, you don't really know where you are. Sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
like when we're sleeping in, like just visiting family, and sometimes we sleep in the van, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, we could be anywhere though.
Mm-hmm. It feels the same as sleeping in like Yosemite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's all blacked out. You can't see outside.
Mm-hmm.
So I wake up in the van, and I'm like, oh, where am I? I don't know where I am because I can't describe where I am,
Mm-hmm.
the environment. So then I open the door. Oh, and there's snow.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But not like that glacial up north air.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. That is a feeling that I could do without in this scenario. So yeah,
Okay.
it's like a Christmassy kind of snow. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're just
Like you can wear a sweater.
you can be warm right away if you
Okay.
want to,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it's not like a I could die if I wander too far past those trees
Yeah.
type of cold.
Mm-hmm.
That's important.
Okay.
And there is like a little cleared spot for like a fire,
Okay.
and it's like has so it's kind of like a rocks semicircle around, and there's like a hill that goes up a little bit, but there's rocks there that kind of keep the hill. So it's like a stone bricks that are stacked up,
Okay.
right? And it's like a to hide from the wind.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like a little fire pit den
Okay, but
type
what are you
thing.
gonna do?
I'm about to sit at the fire that I just
Okay.
described. That fire pit that I just described, I walk over to it,
Okay.
and then I sit,
Okay.
and then I make coffee,
Mm-hmm.
and then you come out, and the coffee's made, and then I'm like, hey, what are we eating? And you're like, I figured I'd make bagels,
Mm.
and I'm like, okay, and then I go back inside because it's a little cold, and I'm like, do you wanna start a fire? And you're like, yeah, sure, because we have firewood. The firewood was
Okay.
there. Sorry, I interact with the firewood that I didn't describe as being a part of the environment, but
It's okay.
it was there.
Okay.
So then I start a fire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then there's that orange glow. Somehow we woke up early enough to see
Mm-hmm.
the orange glow of the sun
Mm-hmm.
sort of coming up a little. And I really want Smoosh and O'Malley to be there,
Mm-hmm.
but also I know he's gonna bark at a rabbit. So we're like debating whether or not
This is an imaginary world, so just pretend that O'Malley's just the best boy on the planet.
not to be realistic. Yeah, so he joins me, and then Smoosh is sitting on my lap,
Mm-hmm.
and then fire's going. Oh man, imagine Smoosh and O'Malley curled up
Mm-hmm.
against the fire.
Yeah, they really haven't camped in like cold
Mm-hmm.
weather
Mm-hmm.
too much.
So
At
we
least
have
Smoosh hasn't.
we have the semicircle of bricks thing that I imagine being comfortable that took me 3 years to describe. That you may not have the full picture. Just imagine something cozy, tucked
Okay.
away from the van,
Mm-hmm.
but it's all like not windy,
Okay.
and that's the whole day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because besides that, I would just want to walk around, and the
Mm.
only thing that like motivates me to like go exploring is if I like have a camera.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to do a camera stuff that day.
Oh. Why not?
Well, because I can't describe mine. I would just take a photo and there'd be like nothing because beyond this story, I can't describe what I'm going to take a photo of. I just say I take a photo. And so that's why I can't take a photo in this scenario.
Okay.
Because I can't imagine or describe to you what I would actually be taking a photo of. Do you understand what I'm saying? You said I can't describe. You said describe my perfect day, but I can't describe where.
Well, I just meant like,
So,
yeah.
so I'm like making a joke saying
Yeah.
that I can't take a photo anyways because it's this blank
Mm-hmm.
void in my mind.
Okay.
Anytime I look up, it's just. What's your perfect day camping?
I
Top
don't know.
that. That's what I thought.
I feel like I've experienced a perfect day camping.
Now you got to make something up from scratch, like I did. Just you can't be in this realm.
Okay, I'll
You can't say
pretend.
like this one day at this place.
Okay. Okay, so I wake up and in the van, and I don't know where I am, and it's kind of weird because you're not there and neither are the animals. So it's just like totally quiet in the van and dark. But then I open the door and I see you making coffee, and you turn around and you already have it ready. And O'Malley's sitting next to you, and Smoosh is on the table, about to knock over the jet boil. And
Danny's force ghost is standing at the tree line,
yeah.
somewhat transparent. She's just standing there.
Yeah. And then sorry, this is a little embarrassing, but yeah, it was like hard not to think of her being a part of my perfect camping trip. But I also haven't been camping since she's been gone, so that makes it even more difficult to imagine, you know. Maybe I can once I've actually camped without her and had, you know, nice experience. But anyways, and then we drink our coffee and probably eat bagels because that is easy for me to make and I don't have to like make breakfast tacos like I normally do. And then and yeah, we happen to wake up before sunrise. It's like that time of year where the sunrise isn't at 5 a.m., it's like later. And so I didn't have to wake up stupid early to experience it. And we're also in like a really great spot because most of the time we try to drive to a spot to get a good, you know, sunrise shot. And so we're just like happen to be in a really nice spot where you can enjoy the sunrise from your campsite. And then once we've eaten, then we go on a hike, but we leave Smoosh because I don't really like carrying him in his little backpack. And we leave O'Malley to take care of Smoosh so he's not lonely. And we go off hiking on a mountain, and it's like a little bit difficult where it is like satisfying when you get to the top, but I'm also in good shape, so it doesn't feel that bad. So maybe like Alaska 2019 hiking like that. And then we get to the top and we have a beautiful view, vistas for miles and miles and miles. And then we come back and we have lunch with the boys. And then we go to the lake and O'Malley splashes around. And I swim a little bit with them, and we have the paddle boards. And then we're on the lake for sunset. And we go to bed.
Oh, you did a whole day, huh?
Yeah, that's what I said. Your perfect day camping.
Okay. Well, I stopped once I was tired of describing it in the rules.
Yeah.
I made up rules.
Yeah, you were like, and that's all I would do all day because I can't take a photo.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the point in living?
Yeah, we just enjoy things differently.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I like the photo aspect of it too because it does give like some extra oomph and like motivation to get up and like do stuff, you know, like I might, but also I don't really know if I would, but like when we have to get up at like the butt crack of dawn to go get a really awesome sunrise.
I get the sunrise.
Yeah, exactly. Like it does give motivation for that. Or even like hiking to the top of a mountain for like a really great shot, you know, like there are some hikes that we've done that I'm like, I don't know if I would have like kept on keeping on if I didn't know that at the end of it, Ethan's going to get this like amazing shot that I'm going to get to look at, you know, for the rest of my life and remember what it was like up here, you know, and that I like did this thing. I don't know if I have enough intrinsic motivation for something like that. It kind of, I guess it depends. I go through like phases, you know, where I'm more motivated in that way than others. But yeah, I think it's created a lot of like opportunities for us to go there and do that and like push ourselves to do something because it feels like it does have a reason. And sometimes I don't know if me wanting to is reason enough, you know?
Yeah.
It's like an outside motivation.
Mm-hmm. Gotta make the cameras happy. This isn't really for me at all.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
just these cameras need to capture images, and really, it'd be unfair to not
to
use
keep
them.
that from them.
Yeah. No, it's more about like a motivation, thinking of something greater than yourself, which makes you motivated, devoted to something. So it's like, I'm not doing this for me. Like, obviously, I'm not doing this for me. I'm surrounded by mosquitoes. And if I were in it for myself, I wouldn't want to be doing this.
Yeah.
Like, if I were to pick an ideal scenario, it wouldn't be this one where I'm surrounded by the cold or scare, you know, like just. This,
yeah, there are some moments that have looked very beautiful on camera that were kind of shitty in the moment. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then even like the place we're at, like kayaking, I could have brought a GoPro, Coulda,
Oh, yeah.
but we were kayaking and I had this waterproof bag, but I'm like, I don't know
How it's going to look with the
if
waterproof bag on.
well, yeah, if the camera's inside of the bag, I'm not taking photos with it, so I had
Right.
to like, make sure. But then once the boats came by, started making the waves.
Yeah.
We were in a little kayak. Like I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
that's a big wave, and then it got the camera wet, and so
Mm-hmm.
then I'm like, well, that was worth it because it didn't hurt it, but
Yeah.
there's just so many different factors. Like you're holding this little machine, this computer that
Mm-hmm.
just captures light in a very efficient way into this little memory card, and so that's a very delicate machine.
Mm-hmm.
And you're out in nature too, and nature doesn't care about machines or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get a raindrop on the wrong spot, then you're done. But
Yeah.
all of that taken into account, it's still worth it somehow to wake up early, right? And
Mm-hmm.
hike in the snow with your stuff, with your cameras. Like,
Right.
I don't let the aspect of, oh, this camera could be hurt if I do this. I don't let
Yeah.
that stop me either, because it is like me and you, all the tools, like all the devices, all the planning put into
Mm-hmm.
something that's up here, like hey, we should get this photo or experience. But we don't, like I said, I like going in with no expectations, because then like your target, you're not going to hit the mark every time. Just being in the place for me is enough.
Mm.
Like, yeah, I get that Yosemite has Half Dome
Yeah,
and
I
Yosemite
was just about
Falls,
to bring up
and
when we turned around at Upper Yosemite Falls.
that's fine.
You
Well,
were pretty bummed about it at the time, yeah.
yeah, I didn't like doing it at all. But I'm not going to do it without you.
Yeah.
I was pretty bummed about turning around at Zion, the Narrows, in 2016 when I visited. I was there without you,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't go down the Narrows.
Mm-hmm.
And I turned around. 4 years later, we came back. 4 years is a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4 years from now, we've been to Yosemite twice. We've been to Alaska 3 times in the last
I
three
know.
3 years.
Yeah, and then I get all whiny because I'm like, we haven't been anywhere since February.
We've been so much, so much.
I
It's
know.
in this August will be 3 years from when we just went camping to see if we liked it.
Right.
3 years was like, I don't know, we can try out this tent with no rainfly.
Mm-hmm.
And then to now, it is a crazy difference. And I'm not worried about not going up one time, because it's like I can't ask for more.
Yeah.
And I can't expect more. That's why I had to go in with no expectation. It's like, I already don't expect, like, I can't believe any of this is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so why would I be like, I hope that I get this perfect shot of this thing.
You used to be like that, like with your shot that you wanted for Zion was a buck drinking from like the river with like all the fall colors around it.
That ruined me.
And then it did ruin you because you got a baby deer. It wasn't a buck, but like it still happened in a sense. And then so after that, you were like a madman, with like what. And then like even when we were like camping and stuff after that, like it was like everything did have, like, we're going up Old Baldy because I will get this perfect sunrise and blah blah blah. And then like in Alaska, you got kind of put in your place because it didn't happen. Because we were like waiting. Well, it was like a similar, but you were like, I want a moose with Denali in the background and drinking from this stream at sunset.
Put in my place, asking for those things. You don't even ask
But it didn't happen.
But you don't ask for those things and they don't happen. But the first time I do it and it does happen, then I'm like, oh, okay. Can you just say things to the world and then they just show up?
Yeah.
You just scream it like, deer at this place this time. Thank you. I'll meet you there.
Yeah.
And then you go there and it's like, oh, but yeah.
And sometimes it does work out.
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't.
But
yeah.
But all the preparation that I do, I'm like, it would be cool if I had this
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I literally can't expect more from a G3 geomagnetic storm for
Right.
the Northern Lights on the day of our anniversary.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a weird thing. That's a weird quinky dink.
Mhm.
So I can't really put a name to what that is. Because if you start trying to explain it with science, it won't make any sense. But if you try explaining it with voodoo and stars being aligned, that won't
Mhm.
make sense either. Regardless, it still happened.
Mhm.
And so you can just call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
So those are the two things that we wanted to talk about for this episode. And we had a little bonus, little going down
A bonus
imagination.
rant.
Bonus rants are always good. We just gotta warm Heather up to it, you know? Listening to a rant. How much does it take for you to listen to a Ethanism?
Not much.
Mm.
It depends on like where I'm at or if I've heard it already.
I was wondering, like, what are those things you look out for when somebody's not listening? They're like, "Oh, that's crazy."
Mhm.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh,
Mhm.
wow. Like those little
Mhm.
phrases where it's like, "Keep talking. I'm not listening, but keep talking." And it's
Yeah.
all the phrases that people need to keep talking.
Mhm.
I look out for those things every time.
I know.
Yeah. So
What are mine when you know I'm not listening anymore?
you don't do anything. That's the thing. Is
Oh.
you just twirl your hair and you're on your phone and you're like, "What?" Like, hold on, I wasn't listening afterward. Like I can tell you have an on and off switch. You're either engaged fully or you're not.
Mhm.
Like you can't do the halfway because you don't like being dishonest.
Mhm.
Anyways, yeah, I was coming to a close on this one, so
Okay.
I guess I'll come to a close.
All right. Sounds good.
Well, thanks for listening up until this point. I hope that everyone's having a grand old fantastic summertime. Um, we are excited. If you can see past the bags in our eyes and how tired we are, we promise we're very excited about all these things happening in our lives. But we're just hitting the grind, you know,
Mhm.
getting the podcast out just like that. Hope it was valuable. We'll see you later. So long. Farewell. Goodbye.